Fruity, 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 fruity.
Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you, and welcome back to another episode of Fruity Fruits, where I taste fruits that are fruity. If you've missed the other videos in this series, I will put a link down below to the Fruity Fruits playlist where I taste all kinds of interesting fruits. Today, I am going to be tasting lychees or lychee or delicious tasting fruits. This is not the first time I've had lychees or lychees before. I did a video way back. I think it was 6 or 7 years ago now. I'll put a link down below in case you missed that one. I'm going to be tasting fresh lychees today thanks to Harish, who got in touch with me from Naga Gardens. Thank you so much, Harish, for sending these to me. I got 2 giant boxes of lychees and I cannot wait to taste them. I did not taste a fresh lychee until I was a grown adult. As a kid, we had them on occasion and they came canned and pre-pitted and they tasted fine, but when you have them fresh, they are something entirely different. So lovely, so very lovely. So big thanks to Naga Gardens. So a little background about lychees or lychees, the pronunciation. I grew up calling them lychees because that's what we call them in my family, which apparently is a little bit closer to the Cantonese pronunciation. And lychee is a little bit closer to the Mandarin pronunciation. The scientific name is Lychee chinensis, and they are in the soapberry family, and they're a very interesting fruit covered with a hard inedible shell, and inside you have this beautiful white fruit, which apparently isn't actually a true fruit. It's often called a false fruit. The white portion is called the areole, and this is a part of the seed that grows around, and this part is enlarged and totally edible, and then you've got the inedible seed inside. Lychees come from the southern part of China in the Guangdong and the Fujian provinces, but they are enjoyed all over Asia around this time of year in the summertime, and they are a lovely fruit. So lychees grow on an evergreen tree, and they grow like this. Isn't that spectacular? Little droops hanging from the tree like this. Beautiful pink reddish fruit. Now there are different varieties. I'll be tasting 2 today, and some have different types of shells on the outside. All of them have white fruit, and some of them are more fragrant than others. Some are sweeter than others. So I'm super excited to taste 2 different varieties today. I love that Harish included leaves as well. I love freshly picked fruit with the leaves. It's just so stinking beautiful. I love the contrast of colors here, and these were overnighted to me. They were just picked, so stinking fresh. Look at that, beautiful. This is the Mauritius variety, and Naga Farms also sent me this variety right here. Also very lovely, a little bit different color, a little bit darker in color, and this is the Brewster variety. Apparently this is the second most cultivated variety grown here in the US, and this was named after a missionary, an American missionary, and named Brewster. So that's how it got its name. But the variety that this originally came from is a purple Chen variety. So cannot wait to taste these. So let's try the Mauritius first. Look at this fruit. It's so stinking beautiful. Oh my gosh, I have so many of these. I'm going to be sharing these with my neighbors. Okay, so this is the Mauritius variety. Aren't they beautiful? Look how beautiful these are. Look. So they have this kind of nubbly exterior, and the shell is soft but firm, and this is inedible. So what we do is we peel this, and inside is a beautiful white and shiny fruit. Peel this back. I wish you could smell these. They smell so fragrant. Okay, keep peeling them. Isn't that amazing? Look how beautiful that is. And the interior is slightly pink of the shell. And this white portion is completely edible. There's a stem. And there's a seed inside. So you can just pop this whole thing in your mouth, but I'm going to cut it so you can see what the seed looks like. Let's see if I can do that. Oh yeah, here we go. There is the seed. See that? Dark brown. And this is the beautiful fruit. Alrighty, here we go. Itadakimasu. Oh my gosh. So succulent and sweet. And this has a really complex flavor. Slightly savory, a little bit kind of salty almost, but yet very, very floral. Amazing. Amazing. I'm gonna have another one of those. This is the Mauritius variety. Now, while I was researching this, I learned that these are oftentimes propagated by a technique called marcotting, in which a branch is cut and then sphagnum moss or some kind of growing medium is put on the cut and then wrapped in plastic. And at that point, roots start to form. And once roots are formed, the entire branch is cut off, and then you've got a brand new tree. Of course, this is a clone of the original, but isn't that brilliant? So that new tree is called a marcot, and that technique is called marcotting. So here's another fruit, and I'm just gonna pop that right into my mouth. Here we go. So good. So juicy. That actually had quite a large pit inside of it. And these you can propagate into another tree apparently. But of course, when you're growing from seeds, it's going to take a lot longer than, say, taking a branch. These taste completely different than what I remember lychees tasting like. They almost have a savory, slightly almost oniony flavor to them. I know it sounds strange, but it's absolutely delicious. They remind me a little bit of durian, just that kind of tropical complex flavor. Absolutely fantastic. So that was the Mauritius. Now let's try the Brewster. Ah, so good. Look at the color of that inside the shell. I mean, so beautiful. Okay, so I was researching recipes on what you can do with lychees, and of course the best thing to do with them is to eat them fresh, but I also saw some recipes combining it with coconut and oftentimes just having them fresh as sort of kind of like a fruit salad sundae with all kinds of other fruits or coconut jellies or young coconut or coconut cream. All sound absolutely fantastic. So now we're going to try the Brewster variety. Now these are a little bit darker in color, at least on the shell, the exterior. And let's give one of these a taste. So same structure. We have this shell on the outside. They are so juicy. These are the juiciest lychees I've ever had. Look at that. This too will have a seed inside. Now some seeds are called chicken tongues, and they are seeds that are selected for because they are small and kind of look like chicken tongues, but those are prized because you have a higher fruit to seed ratio. This doesn't look like it's a chicken tongue. It looks like a fully grown seed. All right, let's give this a taste. This is the Brewster. Here we go. Oh, those are fantastic too. Wow. Those are lovely, juicy and succulent. As you can see the juice all over. Those have a beautiful floral taste. They taste, yeah, kind of like soap or reminiscent of soap berry, but don't get me wrong, they don't taste like detergent, but they're just incredibly floral. Amazing. I'm gonna try another one of those. Brewster, named after William Brewster. So of the two varieties, I've read that the Brewster has a larger pit. It's a bit of a trade-off because the intensity of the fruit is what you benefit, but you get a larger pit, which I don't mind at all. Amazing. So this pink exterior that's kind of in a shell and you've got this white fruit inside are kind of reminiscent of rambutan, which I've tasted. I think it was my very first Fruity Fruits video. Again, it's in the playlist. But the exterior of that rambutan is beautiful. It's very furry, but brightly pink. And that too is a lovely fruit. So one more Brewster for me. Here we go. Well, let's see. Yes, so if we break this inside, you can see the beautiful shiny pit inside. Now, this pit contains a chemical that can cause hypoglycemia, which is low blood sugar levels, and there were cases of encephalitis in India and Vietnam among children, and they discovered there are two chemical components in the seed. So one of them is hypoglycine A. The other chemical is MCPG, which stands for methylene cyclopropylglycine. So these two chemicals, combined with malnutrition and eaten on an empty stomach in large amounts, was shown to cause encephaly, which is a kind of swelling of the brain. So this can be easily avoided with proper nutrition and not eating too many of these, particularly not eating the seeds on an empty stomach. So, sad story, but that's what science can teach us. Okay. Such a scrumptious fruit. The intensity of the flavor is incredible, and my entire room smells so fragrant. It almost smells like flowers, but it's coming from this fruit. And the floral flavors are intense, but it is so sweet. Also, the texture is so succulent. It reminds me a little bit of a grape, that kind of really juicy, succulent texture and mouthfeel. Very similar to a grape, but completely different in flavor. Also, you don't have a skin on the outside. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So of the two varieties, I definitely prefer the Brewster to the Mauritius. Both of them are lovely, but I really love the intensity of the floral notes that are found in the Brewster. Even if it comes with a larger pit, I just really like that floral flavor and scent, which is surprising because I don't typically like floral scents, especially combined in candies. Like if I've had Parma violets, for example, that's a type of candy that tastes like violets. Not a huge fan, or violet flavored gum. Don't like it, but in fruit, phenomenal. What else can I tell you about this? Oh, also, the history of lychees being cultivated goes back to the 11th century. That's how good and tasty these fruits are. Alrighty, my lovelies, there you have it, the beautiful, fresh lychees. If you ever have an opportunity or chance to taste these fresh, I highly recommend them. Naga Farms is coming to the last little tail end bit of the season, so get them while you can. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. Big thanks to Naga Farms for sending me the beautiful lychees, and I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, check out my website, subscribe if you're not subbed already, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! I wish I could make these into earrings. How cute would these be as earrings?